Now it's time to take a look at the stats. And Charles, what's going on?
Yeah, well, you know, again, the heat's gone out of the market and everybody's gone away and whatever else, but the auction clearance rates are really arguing against that. They're up this week, slightly over last week, only slightly, but they're up. So the national clearance rate is 75.4%. This time last year it was 72.9%, so it's still better than this time last year. Now Sydney was the best performer, and that came in at 78.1%, still a very, very healthy clearance rate, and Melbourne at 77%. So I'm not really sure. You hear about the heat going out of the market, but you only need one buyer in auction. You don't need a crowd, just need one person who wants to buy, and you can make it work. Two is a real party. So,
and as again, Tom was saying, its prices are still holding up.
Yeah, Canberra 61.9 and Adelaide was 64.8, so they're still very good clearance rates.
Now, spring starts tomorrow. Is that going to make a difference to our homes advertised for sale?
Make a difference to my golf swing, that's for sure. The weather's perfect. The increase has started to occur. So we had a 0.48% increase over this time last week, but interestingly we had a 0.68% increase over this time last year. So now we're above what we had this time last year. New Zealand's slightly behind over what we had this time last year, but it's ahead 0.7% over this time last week. So they've had a really good run in the last 3 weeks of homes coming on the market ready for spring. So they're ready. We're not quite. We need just a little bit more to start happening.
Just a little push out there.
Little push.
Okay, rental prices.
Yeah, they're really interesting again. I was watching it change and go backwards, but it started to come back again. We had a plus 0.74% increase over this time last week. So we're only down 1.44% over the start of the year. Sydney was a great performer at 0.44% up, but the worst one was Perth, and that came in at a negative 0.82%. Now, I've been giving a lot of negatives about Perth. That makes Perth a very interesting marketplace to me, because the more negative it's been, the more upside there is back in there again. So I'm watching Perth very closely. That's a great spot.
And how's it doing with vacancy rates?
Yeah, pretty good. It hovered between 5s and 7s. Perth did. It sit this last week at 6.88, which is still up there. But Melbourne is at 5.2%, so it's been hovering in higher numbers as well. Sydney was higher last week than this week, so it's dropped back to 2.97. So the average is 5.02. Healthy, but just some areas are struggling a bit more than others. Talking to a couple of guys again in Melbourne today, and they said they hardly leased anything last month. So it's been a pretty tough marketplace, suburb by suburb, not just as an overall city.
And again, just like we said in the purchase or pass, is if you're going to buy the investments, try and target where the majority of the market is.
Yeah.
Because a lot of those vacancy rates, they're for things that aren't in that solid.
Chris, I've always said if you want to buy a good investment property, buy it at the top of the first home buyer market and the bottom of the second home buyer market. You're right in the middle. You've got a chance at a lot more people who come and look at that property when it comes up for sale.
Charles Tarbey at Century 21, thanks for joining us. And thanks for joining us at home. We'll be back next week. Until then, I'm Chris Gray. Good night.
The information featured in this program is general in nature and therefore should not be relied upon. Guests appearing on the program may have commercial arrangements with some of the companies mentioned. Before making any investment, insurance or financial planning decisions, you should consult a licensed professional who can advise whether your decision is appropriate for you.